Let me talk about application really quick. Bronzer is meant to add color back into your face. So that's what we're talking about today, is how to do bronzer. Bronzer and contour are two different things, and I will address that in a different video. Today's focus is on bronzer. I obviously already have my face makeup on. I wear tinted moisturizer and then concealer to spot conceal any areas that I want more coverage. And the whole point of that is to make your skin tone all even. So now we need to add back color in a strategic way to give you the best, healthiest glow to the skin. So I personally like to use the same product that I use all over my face, just in a darker color. So this is the Deep Tinted Moisturizer from Senegence. If I want a little bit more coverage or more of like a matte, opaque look to the skin, if I'm doing like a more full coverage face or something like that, I will use a medium deep concealer instead. But both of these blend beautifully into the skin, into what I've already got going on here. So I'm gonna do the Deep Tinted Moisturizer today. I just put a little bit on the lid. A little bit goes a very long way with this product. It's more of a sheer product and it kind of adapts to your skin, so it makes it really easy to blend out. It's pretty foolproof. Okay, so my tips for application is to think about a 3 on your face. So a little bit on the forehead, right here on the cheekbone, and then along the jawline. Now I like to do a little bit of bronzing. So it's not just straight bronzing, but I do a little bit of contouring with it as well. I don't contour on a daily basis. I mostly just stick to bronzer and put it in these strategic places to kind of chisel the face a little bit, not too much. So I take my brush and I work that product in really well. And then I will pinch my brush and apply the product in the areas that I want that bronzer to go. And then I let my brush go fluffy and kind of blend it out. Now the trick is to keep it blending backwards into the hairline, backwards and upwards, and that'll give a more lifted effect to the face. So that's where like the bronzing comes in, is the way that you apply your bronzer can give a contoured effect. Let me talk about application really quick. The place that I like to apply it is, I told you that 3, but I do try to make sure that it doesn't fall below the cheekbone. So I'll actually take my brush, and if you hit right, like it kind of comes down from your ear, right under that cheekbone area, and then if you were to roll your brush a quarter turn, that is where I apply the product, right here along the my actual cheekbone is where I'm applying it, and then blending it upwards and back into the hairline. And then once I've got it all applied, I'll go back in with my foundation brush and kind of clean it up a little bit so there's no harsh lines. So that gives that contoured and bronzed effect. So I'm not using an actual contour, but I still have this color back into my face. It gives my face a little bit more dimension and a little bit more structure without being too intense. Now don't get me wrong, there's definitely a time and a place for contouring. It's just personally not my preference for every day. I do want to darken this just a little bit though, because I have some self-tanner on that's marinating, and so I want my face to match that self-tanner. Another reason why I love using this tinted moisturizer is it's layerable. You can layer it to create a darker shade if you need to. And then I usually like to just barely hit my nose. I'm not doing contouring, I'm not changing the shape of my nose by any means, but when I see the sun, when I'm out in the sun, my nose definitely gets a little bit of color. So with bronzer, we're creating that faux glow. And then I never like to take it in past my pupil, so I'm keeping it here back. And then also I kind of do a little bit of, and then I also like to have this bronzer be a little bit of like a triangle shape. So when I go back in with my foundation brush to blend the edges, I kind of just softly like chisel out so that I've got a little bit of a triangle right here. Not too much, obviously, but that just gives a little bit more of that lifted effect as well, and it keeps you from having a stripe on your face. It's just like, you know, we don't want a stripe on our face. So that's it. Really simple, really easy. I just used a tinted moisturizer in a couple shades darker than what I wear all over the face, and you can see it adds color and dimension back to the face, but it's super simple.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
All right, so I just finished the other half of my face. So here's what the finished product looks like. You can see it just brings life and color back to the face, makes me look like I've been on a nice vacation. I used to not know how to do this. I remember asking my friend in high school, how do you do bronzer? Where do you put it? And I remember her telling me the 3, and that stuck with me ever since. Obviously, I've come a long way since then, but you know, you can kind of just go back to that basic, the 3s. Hope you guys found this video helpful. I'll see you in my next one.